skies upon ravens' wings. We are the wolves that prowl the midnight hours to prey upon the harmless. We are the descendants of the dragon's blood, the keepers of the ancient flame. We are the chosen ones who dare to explore the mysteries of the unseen realms. We are Legion, for we are many, and united, we cannot be vanquished.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Stay injected with the venom. Demons in my eyes, they control me, yeah, I let them. Cheating death to right the wrongs, they seem to all forget them. See the serpent coming funny, now the blue is denim. Stay injected with the venom. Demons in my eyes, they control me, yeah, I let them. Cheating death to right the wrongs, they seem to all forget them. See the serpent coming funny, now the blue is denim. Venom. Everybody breathing should be grateful cause I let them. Used to be a student to the third, but now I shred them. Got no time for teammates, I don't need to represent them. Stay injected with the God mode. Playing chess around my pawns, it's been a long road. Being father to Shinobi with the wrong code. Move aside, I'm building something that will not slow. Please don't push me, think I've had it. Chakra overflowing, really think that I'm an addict. I kill anybody, even family call me Raditz. Master of the arts, yeah, I'm the snake and you're the rabbit. Murder isn't hard for me, at this point it's a habit. Take control of the prodigy, make him who he ought to be. Marked him so he's onto me, I'll build it myself. I don't listen to apologies, not my ideology. When I'm finished, every one of you will feel that. Stay injected with the venom. Demons in my eyes, they control me, yeah, I let them. Cheating death to right the wrongs, they seem to all forget them. See the serpent coming funny, now the blue is denim. Stay injected with the venom. Demons in my eyes, they control me, yeah, I let them. Cheating death to right the wrongs, they seem to all forget them. See the serpent coming funny, now the blue is denim.
Yeah, I'm a monster, so fuck a redemption arc. I'm coming for the third, and I'm stretching the chest apart. No matter what you heard, I am worse, a dead in heart. You whop, and I promise you that won't be the wettest part. You bleed, drip, drop, my experiments, that's an art. I need tip-top, can't inherit a peasant bars. The clock tick-tock, they've been wanting to shut me down, but I can't stop, death is nothing but funny now. You out of your mind, you think the worst that I'll do is play booms? Boy, I'm Shang Tsung, bury your soul and replace you. I don't care about the people that died, I make moves while you're sitting back and wondering why I make tunes. I'll kill anyone who stands in the way. I laugh at your pain, a snake venom coursing through the wrath of my fangs. I'm the evil that is lurking in the back of your brains, and when you're dead, I'll just reanimate you mannequin slaves. Yeah.
Stay injected with the venom. Demons in my eyes, they control me, yeah, I let them. Cheating death to right the wrongs, they seem to all forget them. See the serpent coming funny, now the blue is denim. Stay injected with the venom. Demons in my eyes, they control me, yeah, I let them. Cheating death to right the wrongs, they seem to all forget them. See the serpent coming funny, now the blue is denim.
What could God expect if he were to incarnate into the flesh of man and the embodiment of his persona were somehow contained within a human-like vessel? This is for those who think Armageddon is some scripted planned scenario that seeks some way of knowing what is to come so that they can remain in their lofty status, controlling the lives and fate of others while they reap the benefits taken from those who suffered. This topic is a moot subject and complete folly to even fathom, but for the sake of answering the what-if question so that there is at least some reference in the case of such a concept occurring. Well, ignoring who I am, the first thing he could expect is the men here in the godless age, who are beginning to seem more and more godless because they know instead of just disbelieve he exists. They will most likely devise some strategy to cut him off before he is even born and replace him with some imitation knockoff. If that doesn't work, then they'll turn the world's heartstrings towards holding conviction against him to try and knock him off as a kid. When that doesn't work, they'll fabricate some other reason such as Ritalin, that it was basically pharmaceutical, methamphetamine, to lure him into a justified reason, like addiction, to lock him away in an institution somewhere so they can keep him from the public's knowledge while they continue to find ways to bind him down and make him docile and controllable, like studding a human horse with a saddle. They would seek to find ways to break his self-confidence, his courage and his willpower so that he would be codependent and mentally unstable, ensuring him to be his own worst enemy. After that, they would likely wait and observe him until he matured into his power before they begin deconstructing his right to his claim to that power, using methods of the accuser, make committee meetings with private clubs, organizations and religious orders to sway their leaders and members in an attempt to find a way to veto and strip him of his power through them. When that doesn't work, considering that his power isn't just any power but God's power, they would go to extreme lengths and devise elaborate schemes to draw him out into public so they can try and shame him before the entire world, so they can turn them against him and make him out to look and act like the monster they want the world to see, using his manipulated past and the issues they caused along with half-truths and warped lies, but never totally fabricated, so the world doesn't turn on them and paint him up as their mascot monster, key to power and world domination, hiding under some false purpose or reason like economic sustainability or greenhouse gas emissions being their intangible reason for doing what they have to for the sake of everyone else, blaming climate shifting on human behavior rather than tell them the real reason for the polar cap's changing position, which a large and unchangeable reason behind it has to do with the exchange of two stellar bodies that hold a major influence over our magnetic poles. This has been known since the time of Egypt, that Solaris and Polaris hold a major influential control over our magnetic stability, and that every once in a great while those galaxies change their dominant control with each other and they change hands. It can't be changed, because if it does, then Earth will go flying off its orbital rotation and into the darkness of space as a rogue planet. So halting the polar caps from flipping is impossible unless you have superpowers that can hold the world in place, like some cosmic Harlem Globetrotter or a spell of equal and long-lasting effect. Bringing God here will not solve this issue we are in anyways, because it's been tried before in the antediluvian era. He wasn't able to stop it then either, and the world demonized him as the demiurge for it. Well, those who survived, that is. That is why the biblical ancient scriptures are so contradictive, because they intentionally wrote it that way because of the grief and frustration of his failure to stop the impossible, and don't think that the simple advancement of technology we have will make a difference, because a supercomputer that is way beyond any conceivable possibility was at his disposal then, and he was still unable to stop it from happening. Look around us in the stars, etched into the very formation of the fabrics of reality are traces of evidence to a computer system's involvement in the design of the very formation of existence itself. The human body also is an example of this. Looking at the human DNA double helix and how it was designed, down to its nanoparticle structure, is a series of coded chromosomes and proteins that make up the structure of the cell. This helix structure is designed on a binary format structure. Our computers are a simple system of ones and zeros. The human DNA is a binary 4-digit system so advanced that it has evolved through the numeric sequence and expanded to another branch of coded format using lettering sequences. Yes, I know that humans conceived that entire diagram to explain the DNA helix, and it's all of human interpretation, but that is just it. Through the human interpretation we have strangely uncovered a computer-based adaptable format unintentionally in trying to describe the design they were looking at. That same design method can be found within the fabrics of particle field formation all the way to the conceivable edge of existence, where it strangely breaks down into a simple format of ones and zeros again. What does this mean? I'll tell you so that there is no mistranslation to this, no excuses for branches of misunderstood beliefs that become cults of reality hackers playing dumb with ideas like the world is flat or the moon and sun are holographic illusions. When really they're just giving everyone a distraction from what they really are doing so anonymously. There are computer-designed traces within their fabrics because just like the tree of life, just like the Ark of the Covenant, just like Jesus the Nazarene and many other holy relics, they are conduits, anchors, vessels or branches of a method or tool in which he uses to work through in his duties trying to maintain his project called creation. He cares for us like a devout Japanese gardener would care for his bonsai plant, with nurturing love and adoration.
But it is necessary to sometimes trim those branches in order to maintain a healthy plant.
Hold on and let me finish before giving them that speech, okay?
Fine Moses, continue with your sympathies towards an obvious weed in your garden. I mean Lucifer.
You know I'm gonna leave that in the just for posterity. Don't call me him again, especially after what you told me about him and what they did to him before he was born and how he came to be. They won't let me go back to help him because they know I'll catch these arseholes in this era red-handed with what they did to him after their leaving the Red Seas, and you mystical conjuration of Mr. Potato Head beliefs are in on this because you're their puppet just like Samael was. So shove it. You're an imitation of my maker, but I've been hoping he would use you to step in somewhere and correct me if I was wrong anywhere in this, but considering what happened last time I'm not as expecting of him to appear anytime soon. At least not through that conjuration. I told you a while ago to stay out of my way and let me finish what I was doing, and it just might spare their lives and yours, for what it's worth, but they couldn't stop themselves. So now we come to the dawn of their end.
Either way it would have happened.
If not by my hand then another's.
It was mostly an inevitable fate.
Vengeance is mine, not yours.
No, for we are coming to.
Stop.
This is what I meant.
Do not use your weaponized scripture passages to manipulate me any longer.
Or else what?
Or else I'll stop and shut up and simply watch you and your entire group's life end in the silence of your well-deserved deaths. Civilizations have risen and fallen because of your schemes, entire races of humanity gone to the dust for the sake of your agenda's benefit.
We are not facing a threat of the past but of the present.
Silence, I said.
This is what I meant.
I was offering you salvation from what was to come if you only would have stopped yourselves from this, but you continued. Now that time is past and I cannot stop what is to happen now. I wanted you to learn from your errors. Any skill or talent of evil can be turned into a skill to help the innocent, for evil is in the hearts of man, not the ideas they scheme or the skills they use.
Like we would ever trust and listen to you. You are just a fabricated character to a delusional mind of a worthless individual who never went anywhere in life, so he fabricated you to give his life meaning.
And that is why Satan, you and your angels will be destroyed by the end of this saga. I am not going to explain myself any further. You have convinced yourselves of what you believe is true. Any further effort will be futile. Well, no, it wouldn't, but unfortunately for you all, this is the day of their doctor. This is the day when a good man must go to war. This is the day when God turns his back and walks away. The pinnacle of my mistakes will be giving up on you when I knew there was another way. But sometimes we must make what seems like the wrong choice because we see the bigger picture of things. And I see many lives being spared suffering and anguish by my decision right now. This is the day that your God forsakes you. And for you out the halfway listening to this, saying to yourself, whoever said you were their God? When I became the God of their father's father that made the heavens and the earth and the ground they walked upon, when they came into existence within my creation. That is when, it doesn't matter if they believe in me or not, they still are my responsibility. They are still a part in my creation, so I cannot turn my back to them for all they do in my absence. At that time I still must go back to fix. If not, then my creation will never reach what I intended for it to be. Except these individuals, for them there is no hope, and I am the creator. If anyone would know, it would be me. take solace in the fact that your life is not ending now as I speak. Be glad I'm walking away and leaving you some time to enjoy your last moments to yourselves.
What are you staring at? What do you want me